This is amazing news. Donald Trump is restoring democracy in the US and to YouTube, Google, Facebook, TikTok if they censor free opinion, and bans from transvestites appearing as women in women's matches. This is news from 2 hours ago. The president-elect of the US, Donald Trump, will probably by law online platforms and social media social media such as YouTube, Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, etc., from censoring free opinion, thus restoring democracy in the USA and by extension throughout the Western world. And as he typically said in simple words, in order to have democracy, there must be freedom of speech, something that may sound self-evident, but has been abolished in recent years in practice, as anyone who does not publicly express an opinion that is not in line with that of the international regime receives persecution of any kind, from social, economic, and moral to criminal. Trump will prohibit not only the blocking and downloading of opinions posts, but also the so-called shadow banning. The latter is an insidious practice coordinated by these platforms, whereby a post that is not liked or has not clarified whether it is liked or not in the international system that has spread its shadows across the planet in recent years is not allowed through the so-called notification to reach all users. In other words, there's a great limitation regarding the propagation of the view post. Trump demands that Congress secure all censorship evidence from previous years. Congress must preserve all censorship that has taken place for investigation by the Department of Justice. As he characteristically said, the Department of Justice will investigate everyone connected to the internet censorship regime, this destructive, terrible system, and we will prosecute every crime that is uncovered. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be eliminated from the system at large. There will be nothing left, he said. By restoring free speech, we will begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. He continued that if this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and freedoms will topple over like dominoes. That's why today I'm announcing, he said, my plan to crush the left-wing censorship regime and reclaim free speech for all Americans. And recovery is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. Trump proposed a 5-point strategy, a presidential directive prohibiting federal agencies from working with private organizations to restrict expression. The Department of Justice conducts investigations into censorship activities, which may lead to prosecutions for violation of civil liberties and election regulations. Amendment 230 safeguards to ensure that technology companies are liable for bias in content moderation. Financial penalties, including reductions in federal grants for universities that engage in repressive practices. A proposed digital bill of rights aimed at protecting the virtual freedoms of American citizens. He also added that he would immediately legislate to recognize only male and female genders and exclude men who have changed their gender from women's sports. We will prohibit positive education about the nuclear traditional family and the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrate the things that make men and women different and unique, rather than erasing them, he said. And it may be consistent in recent years. It's the second and third place among, there were some that have been prosecuted, as we know, shadow banned in other words, while other websites that could not withstand relentlessness, especially the last 4 years, and closed down, they would survive and offer the other point of view that they are all feared and criminalized. And Twitter did the same thing until it was bought over and owned now by Elon Musk, renamed to X, so as not to be related to the previous situation, Twitter, and offered a maximum to the victory of Donald Trump and the restoration of freedom of expression. We've got to the point in recent years of censoring ourselves to survive. It's no coincidence that what Alexis said on the day of the American election about websites with the opposite view that, quote, I wonder how they are allowed to exist, end quote. And this I've translated from a Greek article from Pro News. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.